What can SITE do for you? The Center for Innovation and Technology offers a business opportunity to engage directly with your market online. We also offer media training workshops, live streaming, documentary production, and events management. For more information, visit our website and social media platforms. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. With SITE, you'll never miss a thing.
Welcome to the program Inside Council Chambers. Today my guest is Councillor Mlandu Ncube, who is the Councillor for Ward 1. It has been a year now since he has been elected into office for his second term. So today we're going to be discussing some of the things that he has been doing, the achievements as well as the challenges that he has faced along the way, particularly in the first year he's in office for the second term. Welcome to the program, Councillor.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so far so good. How far have you gone with some of the promises that you made to the people?
I think we have tried our best,
Mm-hmm.
but our people need to understand that service delivery comes with at a fee. So life has been hard on our people, and the council has not been spared. So we've faced serious challenges.
Yeah, and last year one of the promises you made was on the issue of bylaws that probably 2 out of 8 bylaws would be amended by this year, and we haven't had any being amended. What's stalling the progress?
What we have done, amending a bylaw is good as writing a constitution or doing a policy.
Yeah.
We really need to agree that we have been moving at a short pace.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I speak, we are still in a process of doing the one that deals with the vendors, the workers.
Yes.
Bylaw. We, as everyone knows, we advertised for that in the newspapers, and people responded. What I can assure is that I know is that we've received proposals. I remember we won, the other organizations even sent me a copy. I remember receiving one from Bulawayo Vendors and Traders Association, and also the chair and some other, I know some other small groups sent directly to council office. So we are in a process which I think at the moment we're at a stage of gathering and combining the data. And my view is that after we have received the raw data from the people, we will then engage stakeholders to craft it and then send it to the Attorney General's office for it has to come to go through that, so that it's really checked that it does not contradict the state laws and the national constitution. I can, on that one, I think we are at 49%, because if you find we are only dealing with one bylaw.
Yeah.
But the crisis is that what should be done by the residents is that the residents and everyone, the bylaw affects residents and stakeholders. So the stakeholders who knows that my line of business is on this one.
Yeah.
I think this is the bylaw that is affecting us. For instance, you guys, you are in the business of broadcasting.
Yeah.
If there is, let's say, a bylaw that is concerning your business and is affecting you, it should be brought forward that we think this is a bylaw that is affecting us. For instance, with people who have raised the issue of the Muslims, when Muslims bury, they don't use a casket. But we've got policies at council that charges a price of their grave equivalent to a price of a person who uses a casket for burial. So those are the other things that we need to revisit, and the Muslim people have raised it. I remember one councillor raised it in last council about that issue.
You spoke about the issue that you advertised for the amendment of bylaws, particularly the one on vendors. Did you, as a councillor, consult within your ward, the residents within your ward, to hear what they have to say about the issue of vendors? Because I feel you are the one who has got more vendors than any other ward in Bulawayo.
To be honest, what we did with that bylaw is a matter of we consulted the real stakeholders, which means the vendors' representation. In fact, we consulted vendors.
Yes.
But we have received complaints that you cannot consult vendors only, because where these vendors are trading, they are residents. There are business people, which we are saying no. Well, after gathering the input from the stakeholders, we will then do a big stakeholders consultation, which will then include residents, business people. But the leaflet that I received from one of the organizations, it really showed that the consultation with the residents groups. So we are saying the other parties consulted, but it's not the responsibility of a vendors association to consult residents on something to be done by council. It is our responsibility. We are working on a way of mending that gap.
Yeah. And speaking of vendors, sometime last year there was an issue, and it's still an issue even today, that there are vendors who are trading at night in the city of Bulawayo, and they cause a lot of commotion in pavements. They also leave dirt and so on and so forth. And it was actually one of the things that you said you're going to sort out, because it's now causing conflict between the vendors and the registered business dealers. How far have you gone on that one?
We did that, but the crisis that we are short-staffed as council. Yeah. Our councilman's police, they are far less than what is expected, and the council has got no resources to employ those people who can work at night. And given that, there is nothing much you can do to vendors as a council, because remember, we don't have municipality police. We have received complaints that when vendors are raided, things go to drill hall and they just disappear. We have not seen any person taken to court and tried on those bases.
Yeah.
So we have said, that's why we find even our mayor has been very clear about the issue of arresting powers. We need to set up, the central government should allow us to set up a metropolitan court, a metropolitan police, and a metropolitan charge sheet and the fines list. You have committed a crime in our metropolitan territory. You are arrested by our metro police, like what happens in other countries. Yeah. You are arrested by our metro police. According to our charge books, this is the bylaw that you have infringed, and this is how much you must pay. So I think if the powers of arresting and of charging are given to us, we will not have that problem, because we will have powers to deal with everything. And if arresting powers are given to us, automatically if you give us arresting powers, you have already given us power that we can increase our manpower in dealing with that. Then we'll be able to deal with those vendors at night. But we do try sometimes. I have seen our police, our municipality police, reporting to duty as early as 5 a.m. Trying to chase those people. But now they are clever. Now by 4 they will be gone.
But is it a sustainable process to be chasing the people, or just like that, or there are any other means that you think could be employed, but they are not so possible to employ at the moment?
No, it's not sustainable. But it's not sustainable. But the first solution is that we should agree. We cannot trade at night.
Yeah.
Because you are, let's say, for instance, people are selling food. Who has checked your health standards? It's very dangerous. And at night, that's where people sell stolen goods. So, and the person who is selling, you are exposing yourself to amasel, then you have got a crisis. And then you will be the person who will be saying there is no security in Bulawayo. Bulawayo has got high crime rate, yet you expose yourself to such things. What should be done is that you go to a shop that trades 24 hours. They've got a license that they are trading for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And I believe ZRP normally frequents those shops for protection purposes. So if we have got manpower as BCC to regularize trading at night, we should be able to meet security, safety of those people who are trading and those who are buying, their healthy standards and everything. So to me, I would not advise that we look at the issue of trading at night. Why? Because we are saying at night people are sleeping. Actually, it's known. Bulawayo is our culture, our setup. Ebusuku siyalala. That's why I find some people sometimes say Harari, ngoba bathe Harara kulala. Ko Bulawayo siyalala. Because very culture na leyo. Because we give you a vending license to trade during the day because you have told us that uhlale Ncube. Because ntamba umele ulale Ncube. Into zebusuku, night things in our society, especially in this part of the country, are only associated with witchcraft. It's either you're a police officer, or you're a security guard, or you're a nurse, or you're a doctor, or that is, I mean, I honestly, I don't think we can have a solution that will say, let people trade at night. Who are you selling to?
I guess there is a business because there are people who are buying. That's why we also have people who are selling.
No, I understand, but we've got people like Ochkeni, Ospa, who are licensed to trade at night. Because why I'm advising that? You get to a spa, you are in a building, your safety is guaranteed, and you are buying a king thing. If you have got a problem with that, you can easily wake up in the morning and say and return to spa. And if let's say you have bought meat and it is contaminated, we can trace it easily as cancer that no, spa is selling contaminated meat. There is a disease like this one, but you trade at night. We are going to catch the person over neck.
Yeah, true. Let's move on to the Godini project. You've been there, you've seen it, it's in your ward. What's the progress? What's taking place at Godini at the moment?
First of all, I think what I need to make it clear is that I've heard people talking about the Godini issue and making it an issue of like it was awarded by the previous council. No. That tender was dealt in 2011. But there's been some progress on it. We need to understand this is Zimbabwe. And when you deal with such a project, even the funders will be funding the project expecting to get something out of it. So there's been a lot of changes in that Godini thing, because remember when the contractor got the contract was valued at US$. But how many times have we changed and devalued the currency from that time up to today? And you talk about, so those are the things that we need to face. But I'm happy to say, as even if you go to Godini, last time I was there, I think it was a month so, there were some trucks doing some leveling, because we were told we need to do a double-story building. So when you do that, you need to be very careful with your foundation. So to me, there is progress, but even if it's at low pace, but there is a movement. What we need to agree, guys, and the residents should agree. Even Ukoko, wherever, even a guy who works wherever cannot construct a chirao in his area at this time, because the economy is not conducive. So let's try and be patient. Our project will come out soon.
Speaking of patience and time, when can we expect probably EIBC Pelila and this cut?
Those people have told us that they'll give us 18 to 20 months from the day we commissioned the contact center. But I think we are almost there for it.
Yes.
We will wait for them to tell us when. But I think by the time 18 months they would have completed the first phase, which is the construction of the first floor, which will include the vending stores, and the other small things.
Yeah.
But I hope, so far as council, we're also worried as your councillors, the pace that those guys are taking.
Yeah.
But the problem is that you have contracted the person and he has reduced his monies like that. So we cannot be in a habit of chasing people out that you failed to go. When we need to bring into consideration, is the economy around conducive? Remember the day we did the contact center,
Yeah.
the supplier, let's say the supplier of cement, would have quoted that guy in US dollars. And here we are, is now RTG as well. So you see those things that we're facing.
Okay. Speaking of Egodini, we know when it closed for renovations, combis had to move out, and now we have got the buses that have come on board, and it's causing congestion. Any plans as the council or as the councillor of the ward to try and mitigate the chaos or the traffic congestion that is within the city?
The first thing is that I want to make it very clear. We really appreciate the provision of our buses. They are bringing relief to our people. Even it was wrongly done.
So before you go any further, when you say it was wrongly done, what is it that you are complaining about which was wrongly done?
First of all, council is the only authority that has got planning mandate when it comes to Bulawayo.
Yeah.
It's the only authority that could have said, let's use this terminus, let's use this. Pela, in council, we don't just wake up in the morning and do things. We have got a master plan that we are following. Mm-hmm. And these buildings were set up according to that master plan. That's the first problem. And the second challenge is that, why invest on a bus that is going to Cholocho and take it to Bulawayo? Instead of taking that financial capital, give it to Bupta, give it to Mbaiwa, give it to Bulawayo Transit. Because the problem started when fuel started to go up. Why not subsidizing to Bupta? So that he can grow and buy a bus that will do local routes. Because I take it that the guy who is owning combis in Bulawayo understands the bylaws that has to do with transportation of Bulawayo people.
Yeah.
So empower the guy. Let's not make a mistake that we did by making the people who are running 404s becoming poor when we introduce combis. Actually, what we should do is that we should have injected that capital to the combi owners. I tell you that if central government had said, we want to subsidize fuel, I don't think combis were going to charge us $2 because they would not justify
their charge.
You have if you have subsidized the combi, you have removed the buses that are picking people from a hyper, because we find 4 buses queuing there. The city is not congested now. You have removed all those that are queuing from High Court up to Neck. Now they transport up 7 tournaments by Neck. So you have gotten rid of those big cars. You have got small cars. But what you are doing, you are empowering these combis for them to buy bigger cars, so that you have few cars in the city. And you are working with the local authority. If you go to other cities, there is a dedicated lane for a metro bus, especially if you go to our neighbors. We always refer to South Africa.
Yeah.
There is a dedicated lane that a metro bus uses, not any other car. And there are dedicated drop-off points where you come out of the bus, you get into that bus stop, you fly over to shops across. So if that thing was done in consultation with the local authority, could not have a problem. For instance, I can tell you, we could have maybe dedicated a certain street that this is they call them Zupco. This is a Zupco street. You will not be having a problem. But coming back to, the combis are still causing a nuisance. That thing is a matter of attitude. We really need to dwell too much on the combi operators. We've done so many stakeholders meetings with them, but yes, we've had some improvements, but they look like they don't understand. We'll be left with no option to remove both buses and the combis from the city and make them transport people from outside the city. That would be a better option. But
Yeah.
if they keep on not cooperating, we'll have to apply it.
But does the city council or you as a council have any plans maybe to say in future the local authority can actually acquire buses that they will operate to carry people within the city?
It has been suggested, but we are saying we are local, we are council. Our main responsibility is service delivery, and our main responsibility is not to do business. Our main responsibility is to make sure that there is conducive environment for business. Because automatically when we come in, we will eliminate so many people, and we are sending people home. We are making people jobless. What we must do is to create a conducive environment for business. This is why I'm saying, if that money of doing Ozuko was given to Bulawayo City Council, we could have empowered our operators. That's why we were forced them to form Bupta, Mbaiwa, Transit. It's a sign that we want to create a conducive environment. Why we want them to form that?
Yeah.
They will realize their profit because there will be no need to chase after each other. They will operate like one company that grows their economy. So no, to me, people have suggested it, but to me, as Councillor Mlandu Ncube, I think it would be unfair. It's good as saying government is the only one that has got responsibility of selling maize. You are sending everyone out of business. You are sending everyone jobless.
Yeah. And moving on now, I would like to hear from you about the 3% retention fund. How have you been using it in your ward?
Thank you. I think as what one have benefited a lot through that. If you walk in town,
Yeah.
especially today, if you go 14 Avenue, I think from Robert Ncube, you will see a group of 30 people. They are putting slabs on pavement. We have embarked on a project of repairing slabs. We are putting new ones so that we retain our Bulawayo. Because if now Hambe town Gates is not looking nice,
Yeah.
we are doing that. Even the good example is that if you want to check, you can go a Methodist.
Yes.
We finished that. Pambo
Yes.
Methodist Church,
Yes.
Joshua Nkomo, and even if those behind the hyper, you go to 3rd Avenue. Lapana bantu abehlela khona umjovo ngakhona.
Yeah.
We have done that. But we just lapana.
Mm.
We have just received there. So that is the project that is visible. We have done sanitary gates, gate over Limkoto. But the case that we are having, ebusuku Jonjo, abantu bayakhipha. So we are yet to see what can we continue doing that. Because what we were trying to do is to protect abantu bakithi, because people are saying amatsotsi abesema ecatshe emkotweni.
Yeah.
So we are saying let's close, but they are stealing those gates. So we are, but it's still in our pipeline. Secondly, we have the issue of, if you check, I think it was in newspaper last year, September, October. Between September and October, we advertised to renovate Ijablan flats where our people stay, and in Ilindes Lepakest. If you go there, those flats are not habitable. Agula Mawindi, the sewer is something else. So we then said, let's advertise. So when we had advertised, we had people responding. But due to economic meltdown, I can tell you that the contractor who had bid for Tawlani came to us and said, guys, with this current currency that is there, I cannot even do one flat. So we have said, let's re-advertise, which I believe the staff and management are working on re-advertising the thing.
Okay. As part of your own personal projects, can you tell us, do you have any that you have initiated yourself?
Not using the council funds?
Yes.
Not that much, to be honest with you. to be honest with you, because everyone knows that if the economy is like that,
Yes.
no one can financially donate to the community. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Because actually, I'm a person who don't believe in spoon feeding people. People should be encouraged to work for themselves. As a leader, should provide direction, should provide an environment where people are participating. This is why even these SLAP things, we are using community people, community groups to do them, so that they feel these are our slaves. So that if someone is destroying, can be told that stop it. The issue of donating is one that has brought Africa back, because we say let's destroy what we have. People will come and give us. Our MPs, our presidents will
Come and give us.
When I start doing my own personal projects here, we have a problem that when, for instance, there is a true story.
Yeah.
That one councillor in Bulawayo, actually in western areas, when he or she lost their primary election in 2013, she had donated a fence to fence the community garden. She removed the fence, and the following day, imbos around. So to me, I don't want to personalize what one development.
Yeah.
Why should I?
Okay. Now I would like to find out from you, Uti. I've noticed in most council meetings, Uti, you are a very active person. You participate a lot. You suggest a lot of things, and one of the things that you suggested some time back was the issue of the council adopting cremation as an option to save burial space, and it's not a new thing. It was suggested in 2009 by the then Mayor, Councillor Thaba Moyo. 2013, it was also suggested again by Martin, a former mayor, and you also did the same early this year. And it seems like the thing is not being implemented. What seems to be the problem? What's the challenge there?
The first thing is that we were facing a challenge of importing our cremation machine. If I'm not sure, I think it's still stuck in South Africa. It must come here and we do our cremation. But the greatest challenge, we do have funeral parlors that are doing cremation services. But the greatest challenge is that it has been difficult for our people to appreciate, to accept it. It is our culture that we must mourn for 7 days. We must have the coffin coming and in. We must do the body viewing. We must bury our relatives. We must throw soil and say goodbye. But the question is that, I know it's culture, but the question is that as Africans, if we want to stick to culture, our culture and our setup is that each and every black person has got a rural home. So if you die, if you're a cultural person, it is wise, I know it's expensive, it is wise to take you to Choloj, where your family can perform rituals. Because how do you perform rituals in an open space like Luveve, where everyone will be singing? So that's the other thing that people I know have said is our culture, we've got rituals to perform. Normally, we came here to work in the city. We do our rituals in our rural homes. If we want to go the cultural way.
Yeah.
And if economical, what you must know, a city survives, the main revenue stream of a city. I know people have come up with business ideas, but the main revenue stream are rates. So imagine how much rates are we losing in cemetery number 6, in cemetery Yellowville, in cemetery West Park. Those people are sleeping there when we know you paid for the grave. Everyone buys a stand, buys a house, but they keep on monthly paying rents. So that is the land that is not paying rent, and they're sleeping there. But we have got young person. The child who is born as we speak in Mpilo will want a house to sleep that he pays rent. So to me, I think we are consuming land through cemeteries. I know it's a hard thing, I know. The people will be not happy with what I've said, but that's the honest truth.
But if you thrown it to the people for them to deliberate and consider the issue that you are raising now, we need revenue to increase our revenue as a local authority.
No, my ward has got no problem. because my ward is a mixed race, black, white, colored, Muslims. They don't have any problem with that. They understand. But we've got a problem if you go and throw that in Makoko. You'll have a problem. But that is the thing. We are not saying we must totally punish the cemetery. But we need to put a policy that limits the number of people who are being buried in town. Because we need to choose. Do we want a land for burials or land for houses and expansion of the city? So that's the main thing that we need to. That's the question, big questions that we need to answer. You can perform a ritual in Mtogo, in Cholocho. So let's try and reserve the Bulawayo land for development purposes. But well, whilst on that, we are working on as council, and I know I suggested it, that we go to number 6. Number 6 has been, we create a solar farm. Get a contractor who will put up solar farms. Put certain meters high so that people can access those graves, but while it's generating power that will try and supply to our sectors. Because if we are saying in 20 years' time, we want a situation where Bulawayo has got nothing to do with electricity. We generate our own power. If you go to South Africa, I saw a shop where in its parking bays, the roofs are solar. They just generate what they use inside from their parking space. So this is what we are saying. We can make use of those land, because I can tell you there is no way we are going to build houses on those, because you are putting your very nice tombstones and what. So we'll never build on top of those houses.
But I'm worried, Councillor, because you guys will continue to propose good ideas. Yes, they can generate revenue. Yes, they can do this and that. But the pace at which you are implementing some of these things, I do not know where is the problem.
No, I agree. Yeah. I agree. I think the pace that the Bulawayo City Council is moving is very slow. But what we need to understand is that in Zimbabwe, local authorities are politically tend to be like a subordinates to the Minister of Local Government or central government. Yeah. Most of these huge projects require approval by PRAS. So we all know. So it's a that PRAS, if no, even not politically, if PRAS is in Harare and it's looking after everyone. So look how big will be the fight. So we normally most of our delays have been delayed at the central government level. And even if you look at the project that I'm telling you, for instance, say number 6, I think it will need us to procure huge sums of money. And it does. We cannot directly procure as a local authority. We now need PRAS to deal with those tenders.
So, as we draw closer to the end of our interview, I would like to find out from you, what can you expect from today up to 2023 when Councillor Mlandu's term comes to an end?
What you must expect from Councillor Mlandu first is that we are going to make sure that the whole CPD, when you get to town, you'll actually, when you get off from Umchova, you'll remove your brush and shine your shoe. We don't want a person who will step on the ground. You'll be walking on pavement, smooth pavements. And we are working on having a situation where we get a tree cutter, where we'll shape our trees nicely. Remember, we used to have a nice Bulawayo when jacarandas now start to bloom. Yeah. Those trees used to resemble a very good, nice color for our city. Yeah. So we want to return our trees to that status. And we are working on buying, it's unfortunately the currency hit us. We want to buy a street sweeper. That street sweeper that will sweep dust. You know what we are doing? We're trying our best to pick peppers. Yeah. But dust remains there. When there is wind, you are blowing, you don't show what you are from town. So we want to make sure that by 2023, that one I assure you, our streets will be nicely done, nicely lit, because we are working actually. I've seen our electrical guys are committed in doing our street lights in town. We are doing that. And we are moving on. If you, actually I'd forgotten the project that I did. If you go to Mlandu Ncube and those street lights.
That's
So those are solar
that's
lights.
10th Avenue.
10th Avenue.
Yes.
And in front of Mkandla there, the government had a building there, which people were working on dust getting inside. Councillor Mlandu managed to put slabs there. And even if you check the parking, we used to do parallel parking, which was consuming too much space. And then Councillor Mlandu managed to make sure that we do the side parking. So those are the other projects that we've done. So I'm saying, come 2023, Bulawayo City will be another level.
Thank you so much, Councillor Mkandla, for giving us this opportunity to talk to you and hear what you are doing and what you are yet to do for your ward.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. You've been watching Inside Council Chambers. Today my guest was Councillor Mlandu for Ward 1 here in Bulawayo. He's talking about some of the developments that he has done for the people in his ward and some of the developments that is yet to do. So till we meet again on yet another episode of Inside Council Chambers, thank you so much.
Thank you.